Proxy, Table Gaming, PTG, Hyper G with lucky sixes.
What up, geeks?
That's what they all are. And we are the super geeks.
Hyper geeks, some would say.
Maybe not. Maybe not. Who knows? But yeah, I mean, I don't think super geek necessarily makes us better than them. It just makes us a different kind of sad. No, not really. We're all comfortable in our geekiness and proud. So, what have you been up
to? Just battling and shizzle.
Yeah, in Clash.
In Clash, we reached the sad end of any tournament. The last game.
Yeah, unless you're winning, and then it's the heroic.
No, then it's stressful, man.
Oh, right, okay.
But yeah, no, we last game of Clash. We're currently on 37 points out of 80.
Yeah.
So just below average. So need to claw some points back with a win.
Yeah, that's
2 wins, 2 losses.
Okay.
So if I can, I mean, it's this is win or bust basically.
Yeah, it's on a knife edge, isn't it? Yeah.
So there we go. We roll into it against Sylvan Elves, which I don't play much. Actually, I don't have much experience.
It's just against Josh. It's only Josh.
Josh normally, but today is not that day. Josh is nowhere near me. A bit higher up the tables, I think.
A little bit, yeah.
But yeah, this is not Josh. This is my list, as we know.
Of course.
Pause for 5 seconds just so people can look at it.
Do we pause as well as them, or do they just?
I don't know, but that's it.
Okay.
So we say nothing more. You get to look at it, and that's it. But over to Artem and his Sylvan Elf list, and
not played against Artem before.
No, never played against him. Never played against his Sylvan Elves. And just looking at it briefly because you get about 5 seconds. We did the list review, but you get about 5 seconds before the thing. I was like, okay, so it's going to be classic Sylvan Elves. Is going to be moving all over the place with those movement 9 Kestrel units, and there's some big units. And as we've kind of already realised up to now, I don't have much range
or any,
and they're flyers, so I can't chaff them with all my millions amount of chaff. So immediately off the bat, they look at like the biggest threat, really. And how
are they decent in combat, Kestrel Knights? Are they actually all right in combat?
You got some strength 6 dudes on top, and then a load of strength 4, a lot on the charge, because let's be honest, they're going to get a charge. And then some strength 4 underneath it with a stomp, maybe 3 stomps. Yeah, basically, they pick and choose and go against things that they can kill. They're not terrible, but they're not. They're not like.
I
don't know. Not the best thing in the world. Yeah, I would. Yeah, that's good. They're not Pegasus Knights in things, but I
mean, they're still 600 points, so you're paying for that maneuverability, aren't you? Really?
Yeah. For sure. But yeah, I mean, looking at around the list as well, we've got 3 lots of Heath Riders for shenanigans. One of which was, I think, the Heath Hunters was scoring.
Oh right, okay.
Nice. In my head, that's what it was, because he's got Dryads, Heath Hunters, and Sylvan Archers as his 3 scoring. I believe that was it.
Okay.
I don't think all of them were, or at least I remember him saying that only one of them was. So I presume it's that. But we'll go with that. Otherwise, I didn't really look much else. I was like, and who sort of showed lists and said, "Are you okay?" And we were like, "Yeah, sure, let's go on." Blade Dancers we know can be good, but there's only 13 of them. I'm not too bothered. I think I can grind them out, so we move on from there.
No, I think it's the other way around with the Heath Hunters. Actually, the Heath Hunters lose scoring.
Right, so he had 2 lots of scoring as well, so that's fine. Yeah, we played Refused Flank, and we didn't play Refused Flank and Breakthrough. That's rubbish, because as you can see from the next picture. It's very much not. It was, let's say, the 20 inches one. It was counter thrust, was it?
Counter thrust, yeah.
And it was capture the flags. That's for sure. I mean, singling out the Kestrel Riders, I kind of knew they were the threat. He dropped the first,
Sure.
because he won that role and could, and deployed thusly. He put his dryads in the corner.
Yeah.
Clearly saying that they don't want any part of this game, which is fair enough.
Sure. Which is capture the flag.
Yep.
Classic. Yeah.
2 Heath riders out there. Let's say that those are the 2 scoring ones.
Okay. Sure.
I guess would make sense. Then the Heath Hunters, 2 Eagles. No, not Eagles.
For characters.
Characters on Eagles. And I think they're both the mages. He's got a cosmology master and a shamanism master. So
okay,
there you go. Then he's got his war dancers behind the house in a very odd location. I guess central because they can be like troops at the time.
Sure.
One of his chieftains just out in the forest that he's put down, which is fair. Okay. Then there's the
Glade Guard.
Yeah, Glade Guard. And his 2 units of Kestrel. Where's his second unit of Kestrels?
Well, second unit are currently with your.
Oh yes, yeah, sure. So ignore that because that's where he looks at going. But we work out that he can. My coach can see him, so he ends up not.
So I'm guessing that they are deployed where the marker is in front of his in between his Heath Hunters, yeah.
Correct.
And this is just you working out whether they could go there or not.
Another thing that you'll and here we go is for my list. So yeah, they end up being not there. I take this shot really because this is really where I want to. I don't want to allow him a flank into any of my scoring units, and I've played scoring as you capture the flags against someone that is better than me in terms of Tim Bocknook's warriors at Tech, and I use this deployment, if you will, before. So he has shamanism, so I've got to be careful he can't get his thing behind me. Yeah. So I put my zombies on the flank so that if he charges me fair enough, I can charge him. If he puts a shamanism totemic beast there, I can charge him, and eventually I'll get 3 6s.
Yeah.
Same with the zombies down left, and I intend to grow them. I've left them enough space in the back so that they can get 9 in each before I then have to move them 2 inches forward and get another 10.
So that makes sense. Which would be 2 turns of casting before you have to do that.
This is my thought. And nothing can get around my flank without being charged.
Okay.
Granted, if they get past my dark coach, I'm not in a good spot. But they shouldn't do because of where I've put the dark coach. And it turns out that was correct with the Kestrel Hunters.
Sure. Okay.
So yeah. I also put Killerson, my paired weapon dude over here, to give me a bit of zoning and alongside the Shrieking Horror as well, so that if they come forward, I can try and kill something. Is the idea, but there's not too much in the way of offensive deployment there.
No,
really. Because I can't afford to give him any space on the board to get behind me or around me. So that's why I deploy like that. We'll go back to the original picture here. I only put 1 chaff over because I want to try and encourage him to put some of his units away from my main block.
Okay.
Similar, I guess, in the last one where I put a unit of zombies over there for the spears to come and get.
Yeah.
I put a bit of chaff over there. Say if he wants those points, fine, but he's going to have to dedicate more points than my chaff is worth to get them. My one regret, and you'll see why in a sec, is that I didn't put my big flyers, my big bats, in with my big unit, in with my actual army. I'll say why in a bit. I've got my knights over there, hopefully to just go after his scoring. I want them to go after the dryads, and if he chaffs me, great. I'll get some points on the way. I think I can pretty much take that left side.
I would agree. I mean, the Kestrel Knights might present a slight problem.
Yes,
but
yeah, absolutely, and they could. And again, I'm happy for my knights just to sit there all game. If he doesn't want to come after me, because I think we can zone each other, and I think I could probably take a charge as well from anything over there, apart from his war dancers, maybe.
Yeah, you said the Kestrel Knights are strength 6 on top, right?
There
Is
might
that
be strength 5. They might have high AP, is what I was thinking.
Oh, okay, yeah, because of Sylvan Lance and all that.
Yeah.
It's not because of great weapons, basically. So they'd be attacking first, or
Yeah.
no, similar time, I guess.
I think they would be anyway,
vampires.
because with the +1 to hit thing, was it always strikes first, whatever it is called.
Oh, sure, okay.
I think they just lose the +1 to hit.
Okay,
And they go at the
fair
same
enough.
time agility wise. So they do a decent amount to me, but they are fragile as and they can't grind.
And you've got one of your vampire lords over there to do
who goes before them.
a rise, yeah.
And will probably kill 2 before they swing.
Exactly,
so
yeah.
I'm happy enough with my unit versus that side, as long as he doesn't then put everything over, and if he does, I just sit back.
Yeah, okay.
And move up slowly with the chunk that is my right flank. So that's explaining that, I guess, from my point of view. However, one thing I completely missed was his Mistwalker abilities from his chieftain, which I mean, I've not played Sylvan Elves before. I just glossed over the list as we spoke, and it kind of wasn't mentioned. So I kind of got done by not knowing the list. We'll go back. I've never done this before in a back rep, by the way. We're going to go back to the list.
Right, okay, yeah.
With that in mind. So he's got his Blade Dancers, which were suddenly over by my thing. He's got on one of his chieftains
Mistwalker's Mirror.
Mistwalker's Mirror.
I'm reading it now.
Yeah, as part of the Blade Dancer thing. So that is the... no, sorry, it's the Shapeshifter.
Okay.
The other one. With Sacred Seeds and Shapeshifter, which is a combination allowing him to smash me up. And teleport effectively 30 inches across the board. He can Vanguard, as you said, 12 inches.
Right.
So he doesn't teleport technically. He Vanguards 12 inches. Then he moves 18 inches. Because he marches. Right? So which is effectively 30 inches.
Oh, right, okay. So the
is.
character's moving on his own, right?
He moves on his own. Then he creates a forest.
Yeah.
Then the War Dancers move into this forest, and with the Mistwalker's Mirror, I believe it's called, whatever it's called, can then teleport into another forest, which is one that the other guy has created.
Wow, okay.
Effectively moving them 35 inches across the table and in front of my scoring zombies that I've tried to protect. So a little sneaky combination.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds right when you pick it all apart like that.
Yeah, so that allowed him to put the forest exactly here. Now,
so he's got a chieftain in that unit.
He's got a chieftain in the unit.
Or 2 chieftains in the unit.
No, 1 chieftain in the unit. The other cannot join units. And we'll see where they end up.
Oh, and it's slightly behind his hand.
There's a lot. There's a lot now of they can go here. They have to be wholly in the forest. Where can they go? Where can they go? Blah 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 blah. Where can they go?
Okay.
And he ends up putting them like this and put the forest. So.
I mean, there's Yankee Yank.
Well, it's within their rules. There's no reason why you can't. It caught me completely off guard, I was doing very much similar. I was going, how? He ended up on this, although he does slightly change the Mistwalkers thing so that there won't be any. Because as you can see, currently there's an overrun into the War Dancers with my lord because of the way he's angled. But there won't be, so don't worry too much about that. So effectively, he's chaffed my lord with his 30-inch mover chieftain, and with his chieftain and War Dancers is setting up a charge for my ghouls.
Yeah, and you could flank charge with your zombies.
I could flank charge with my zombies, but they do attack lots, and all they need is 1 reform, and they're killing me. They don't worry too much about that. They're stubborn in a forest. They kill me, and I'd lose a score.
Do they?
They're not scoring. Well, let's look at it. They have a chieftain on the side, So the chieftain
Right,
goes before
yeah.
me. Then his
Yeah.
things. Let's say they do 6 wounds, maybe
Yeah.
5, because I'm zombies. The turn that I charge, I have 3 ranks, flank and stuff. Blah blah blah. I probably win combat by combat res. They're stubborn in a forest,
Yeah.
so they hold. Then they reform, and they've got.
No, but what if you got your ghouls in the front of them?
I mean,
surely your ghouls are killing a few of them.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Oh, okay.
But yeah. So this is where we end up.
Okay.
I end up like that, and this is his remaining movement. So he's put all of his eggs over this right basket because
Okay.
you know that's everything where all my stuff is.
Yeah.
And it's basically he sees me cowering in a corner, going, "What the hell do I do now?"
Yeah. Okay. Uh-huh.
He gets a totemic summon off, despite me trying to save all my dice for it.
Oh.
But yeah, so that's another problem I have to deal with.
Yeah. Go zombies.
And this is where we end up.
You didn't charge him.
I charged the chieftain.
Yeah, I knew that. You knew you could do that.
Yeah, and I mean, I was just shocked, really. I didn't charge because they can do the 3+ Aegis save the first time, right?
Yeah. I know.
So, well, I mean, yeah, they go through.
I mean, I'm
not
saying charging the ghouls was the right thing to do. Okay,
Yeah.
so don't make me sound like I'm like saying what you did was stupid.
Well, my actual thought was, okay, I'll chaff them with the bats, the flying bats. However, and this is why I wanted my 9-inch flying bats. They failed a march check.
Oh right, okay.
Which meant I couldn't get 6 inches past his chieftain, which was just. I mean, there looks like ways there are, but I couldn't. And we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Again, this is a long time me going, I can go there, and he's going, no, I'll go. And just us both looking at it and going, okay, all right, no, I can't do that. So I know he's going to charge me, and I know that the thing that I don't want to do is allow his war dancers a flank on Killison, because then I'll die.
Yeah.
So I can't really chaff him with Killison because he can get past me at this moment, and I can't afford to go 10 inches and create a flank. So I put all my eggs into chaffing, and I can't do that. So then I think, okay, well, what should I do?
I mean, once you've got to the stage where you think you can chaff, and then you work out you can't, it's too late to chaff the ghouls.
I failed my check, so that was it. So my Shrieking Horror goes up to where you see.
Mm-hmm.
In hindsight, there's no reason why he couldn't have chaffed.
Sure. Yeah.
I was trying. I was trying to do there, because I can't be seen by the unit on the left as you're looking at it, the bigger unit.
No, the hill's in the way. Yep.
But I can be seen with the unit on the hill, and I thought, well, if I can get the hill, them down a bit closer to me, then I could potentially charge them with something else, get them fleeing off, and actually create some sort of maybe advantage. I'm not sure. But on hindsight, there's no reason why it couldn't have chaffed as well. So it would have taken the war dancers to charge him, or they couldn't charge something else. So I don't know why I didn't do that, and that would have been the better play. But I wanted to try and entice someone down off the hill so that I could then charge. But again, chaffing the war dancers would have given it a bit closer as well. So it wasn't well executed, but my idea was to try and do that, and at least sacrifice my Shrieking Horror for something better, to give myself an option in the game. Because if I get, say, one of the Kestrel Knights, it's actually better than the Shrieking Horror. So
fair enough.
But allowing the war dancers just to get through as well is just for seeing it now is silly.
Were you in shock a little bit, maybe?
I think I was. I think you're right.
Yeah. Okay.
Over here, I march up and I go, you know what? They can handle it on their own. I don't need anything else.
No,
let's...
the only trouble you got with Heath Hunters is they can outrun you.
Oh,
But...
I know the Heath Hunters can. I'm going to go 1 for 1 for the Dryads and say, let's do this.
Okay, fair enough.
They don't have a musician, I don't believe. Well, they might do. Okay. I'm not sure. So
I don't think Dryads can.
Yeah. And as you can see, Killy Harrison's cousin comes over to out of flanks of everyone to let's go.
Yeah. Were you not tempted to put him after the Heath Riders? And
well, he kind of is.
Corner,
he kind of is. He's come over to the centre, but he even they can outrun him as well. I kill the chieftain easily, but decide not to overrun. I do shrieking horror kill 4, maybe 3 of the guys. Okay. I rolled loads of 1s. I think I rolled 3 1s, and hoping to nearly half them I was, but it wasn't to be. Then they declare a charge against the ghouls. The plus point of this is now that they're not in a forest, is my thought, and they're not stubborn for any reason. If I get them down to 1 or something like that, stupid. So
yeah,
I guess half my reason for not chaffing was that I wanted to get them out of the forest. Again, rightly or wrongly, I guess. They charge this because why wouldn't they? As I said, in hindsight, they're perhaps not even close enough for me to do much to.
Yeah, what do you need? Like a 9 from Donny to countercharge them or something like 9 or 10?
Arguable, but yeah, one of those. They get in, and the what's it called?
Totemic Summon.
Totemic Summon also random moves up that way to get into my flank.
So you didn't charge him with your zombies?
No, because I've got my general there, and I need him for magic. So this is remaining moves, and as you can see, it's completely different to the classic Sylvans moving everywhere, out of arcs and all that stuff everywhere. And as you are, he gets obliterated. I think I do some wounds.
You killed 1 Heath.
Yeah, I think he did. I think he only did like 3 wounds to me, and then I killed a kestrel, but enough. He was in my flank and everything. Rear and everything like that. So again, maybe even turning him around could have helped me out.
Shooting at them instead of the dancers, maybe.
I was. I knew I'd played it wrong. I was just trying to get something out of it, and it didn't really work, if I'm honest. But hey ho, we move on. Just obliteration on both sides, kind of. I killed the war dancers.
So what did they choose as their dance?
They chose extra attack to get me down.
See, that's the difference, I think. If you charge them, they have to choose the Aegis. If he charges you, he chooses an extra attack.
Yeah, quite possibly.
Attacks first.
So no, it's either or really. The chieftain's there, just absolutely loving it now, and they're gonna hope. At least it's the thing as well is if I charge him, he's got 2 turns of combat before I go, and can try and heal again. So the plus side of him charging me is that I can heal after 1 round of combat. Away. So,
yeah, absolutely.
There's pros and cons, I think.
You could duel him out all day now, couldn't you?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But that's the aftermath, and whew, I charge him with Killy, and he flees. Again, kind of showing that. I need a double 6. But
he wasn't sticking around for it either way.
No, he wasn't sticking around, and it kind of shows the how wrong they played it. In a way, if my Shrieking Horror was down further, it wouldn't have been a double 6. It would have been a 10 or a 9, for example.
Yeah, and I suppose because he's fleed to that, Donny can't even consider following up.
Exactly. Yeah. So it's a shame. And this is the remaining moves. And because I killed all the war dancers as well, annoyingly, Donny couldn't charge the chieftain. It wasn't quite within that. It was like one of those silly things where I lose arc because of it. So I try and be as janky as I can back.
Okay.
Now, he can charge Donny Darkcoach for sure. However, he cannot charge the ghouls because I'm slightly over.
Okay.
So he can't place any of his units, even the wizard, which I don't think could go in, into the ghouls where they are.
Because you're 50 wide with Donny, and
Yeah.
the ghouls are only 40 deep.
Yeah. And
so
same
you're
with the
5 millimeters either side of the ghouls, essentially.
yeah, same with the Kestrels, and I'm gonna grow some back hopefully, but I know that he'll do some damage as well. So as long as I don't end up with anybody in the third rank,
60 mil.
I'm fine because I'm angled and all that stuff. So I say, come on then, charge Donny Dark Coach, and then I'll charge you with my Lord. And we'll see how we go there. And otherwise, we just kind of stay the same. I move up slightly with my zombies that way and that way so that I can raise them as well.
Was she called champion alive at this point, or dead? Do you know?
Alive, I believe. I don't think he targeted him.
You didn't necessarily need to raise them then.
No, I didn't, but I did. But also as well, I want the option because I've got 6-9 attacks on poisons, and he's got no armor pretty much.
Yeah.
So I only need 3 6s or 3 wounds to actually. I think he got 6 up, something like save. Or whatever. So I'm hoping for that. He's moved to there. I moved to here. It's looking good. I go as far forward as possible to not allow him to march out on the just march up, whatever. So yeah, I think looking at it, I perhaps could have gone a bit more. I might have failed a march check actually again. But yeah, I go to there. Over here, I get rerolls to hit on Donny Dark Coach and a load of zombies. Ghouls back and zombies, as it turns out.
So now you're hoping that the totemic and the chieftain kills 6 or more.
6.
6 ideally.
And it can be after the crumble, right, as well. So
yeah.
But they need to do that.
Sure.
They
don't. Right.
The chieftain does 4. The thingy does 3, and I lose by 7 ish. Oh, lose by 6 because he's got a flank, and I do 2 wounds out of 3 to his lord.
Okay.
At this point, I'm like, okay, not too bad. If I can get my, if I can get one lucky wound on him, then happy days in my next turn. His turn. There are no charges. I've successfully done my job in that regard. However, he does move forward over here like this, and it's it's crazy. It's just so much movement, man, which is cool from their point of view. He essentially puts his kestrels up to say, "I'm gonna get your zombies. What are you gonna do about it?" So yeah, there's
I wonder what are you gonna do about
it. He moves his 2 Heath Riders over here to shoot and try and get some pot shots. This is a totemic summon.
No.
On the bigger one that he marched up and got in my way.
That's a blow.
I cannot remember whether I tried to dispel it or not, or it might be that something else had happened. But I whatever happened in the magic phase, he gets totemic summon off and chaffs me. Annoying. It just delays me, really. Over here, I don't do any wounds, although I do actually do some wounds before not doing them. I'll explain that. We had an agreement at the start where if it lands on anything other than the board, then we re-roll a dice.
Because it's cocked.
Sure, because it's cocked.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, 2 out of 3 hits or whatever rolled 6s.
Right.
And I had to re-roll them, and they didn't get 6s. So I was like, annoying. Stupid agreements. But yeah, it is what it is, and he kills my ghouls.
So everything was cocked, even if it was very blatantly flat.
Yeah, well, it was on paper. Unfortunately. But yeah, so that's where we end up after combat, and not looking.
So chieftain survives and kills your ghouls
for me, and not looking great for me, really.
You're in a bit of a hole there.
Yeah, I'm just all the way through this. I'm going, what can I do against this, man? What can I do? I charge into his rear, needing an 11.
Okay.
And I get an 11.
Oh, great!
But unfortunately, it's cocked because it's next to some dice, next to some paper.
Next to?
Yeah, we had a bit of a disagreement on on whether it was, but
Might have heard about this.
Yeah, I'm sure people watching have heard of it. It was next. In my opinion, it was next to it. In his opinion, it wasn't. I didn't get a judge. I just said fine. I don't want to argue about it. After arguing about it for about 10 minutes, and I re-rolled, and it wasn't to be. So I got it, and then I didn't get it.
Which is as good as not getting it.
Which was hard to take. I'm not gonna lie, that was hard to take. Especially after the chieftain should have died as well beforehand. So I was like, oh god.
I mean, I'm guessing you're not purposefully aiming your dice onto paper.
No. Well, there was a lot of paper. Thinking about it, there was a lot of paper actually on the board.
There's a lot of terrain, and there's trees everywhere as well.
But I wasn't being careful about it, I guess. So yeah, just.
So is this an advertisement for dice trays?
Dice trays, mate. Roll in a dice tray. Don't worry about it. Yeah, but it is what it is, and that was my Hail Mary, and it did not pay off. So again, now I'm thinking, what the hell can I do?
Because you had both your lords have failed charges and just stumbled.
Janky gets jankier.
Well, how the hell did he get through there?
My lord passes his march check, thankfully, and moves through everything and goes to here. He is in the front of the kestrels.
Okay.
I mean, the flank of the wizard on the left, but don't worry about that. And because that eagle there, close to me, is a totemic summon, he can't move him in the charge phase, which means technically the kestrels can't charge the zombies just in front of them.
No.
Because there's no space. And the totemic summon would have to charge in a later
Which
phase.
you can't do,
Also, the kestrels cannot charge the zombies on the right because there's not enough room to fit in between the gap between my zombies on the flank, on the bottom, and the bats that have taken one wound. And again, he also cannot charge the bats because of where everything else is.
Okay.
In fact, actually, that's a lie. He could charge with the wizard and the kestrels into the bats, moving them in different positions, then get an overrun. But at which point I would have, hopefully, lots of counter charges. Because he'd overrun in his turn and then get in. And at the start of my turn, I'd have Donny the Outcoach and my lord potentially there as well. Or he could do chaff things as well to get in, but yeah.
Could he have charged with his big eagle into your zombies?
Yes.
Charged his kestrels into your bats, then overrun the kestrels to join the zombies.
I don't see why not. Yeah.
I mean, obviously it didn't happen, it's great.
That was the way to get out of it.
So yeah, I mean, I'm used to your little
I know.
So maybe
it was because I'd failed the charge, and as you can see, I rolled it. I mean, I think I rolled a 10 instead of an 11, which was even more. I'd sort of I've come up with him, and I'm like, right, I just need to walk, and because of what had gone on, I was like, right, we need to agree before we get onto your turn. Move the phase. It was all the way through this game.
I bet tension was pretty high.
Right, what can we do? What can we do? It caught me out massively with the list. Yeah. So I'm trying desperately not to just hemorrhage points and get a 20.
I thought you were going to say I'm trying desperately not to headbutt him.
No, not at all. It depends how much more paper he puts on the board, to be honest.
Well, that's it.
No, it was I really enjoyed it in a really tough and stressful way. But it's easily one of the most stressful tactical games I've played.
I'm stressed listening to it.
Yeah, man. But it was getting like this is a janky game of Ninth Age, guys.
It is.
Everybody watching.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what we end up doing at the end of my movement phase. This was into his turn, and the only thing he did was, this is after charges, obviously. The only thing he did was go into my zombies right there. With his, I mean, technically it's slightly over, but with the totemic, so random movers. And then runs away. In my head, that's a win.
Sure, yeah, because he's only got your goals for scoring.
Yeah, man, this is like. Oh, by the way, I think I charged a totemic summon. Yeah, I think I'm killed with my knights. FYI.
Oh,
But
sure.
yeah,
Okay.
he moves away with everything. I'm pretty sure I'm going to get the totemic beast, summon beast. So I'm happy enough for that. He can chew through 10, 20 zombies. That's fine. But he moves away with everything else, and basically doesn't get these two scoring. So it becomes now a game of, can I get the scoring over there? He's 1-0 up. So I need to
Sure.
get the dryads in order to draw the thing
Before the kestrels get over there to
before
help.
the kestrels, who
Yeah.
now are marching their hell away. As you
Yeah.
can see, I face this way to face the Heath hunters, which
Okay.
I don't know why. I think I didn't want a flank charge.
Okay.
Hindsight, would it be that bad? I don't know.
I mean, if they've got
Lots of
Sylvan
AP,
Lances, then
yeah.
maybe AP is a problem.
I think they're strength 5 AP3 on the charge,
Mm.
which isn't great for me. Hitting on 4s, probably wounding on 4s. I want to say. I'm not sure, but I didn't want to leave a flank for whatever reason, and
Okay.
I said, all right, come to me in the front, and they didn't, obviously. But it also meant I couldn't get the dryads easily as well, so I was kind of like regretting my decision.
It's a real tough one when you're chasing shadows.
Yeah. But I mean, so he did his job by putting enough pressure on me to look out for everything else, so that I didn't go directly after the dryads, and now it's looking bleak for actually getting anything. So especially as everything is now changed tact from going after my army to going after my knights, and as you can see, the archers are up. Obviously, the war dancers are dead, but everything else is facing me, and I can't charge anything, and they're going to get shot to hell. So now I just want to save the point. It's such a so the game swung every single turn and every single phase. It felt like he shoots or magics my chaff away at this point. Not a problem. Okay. I go in to charge him there because there's not much I can do elsewhere. Really. I also chaff his chieftain so that he's not doing anything silly into me and into my necromancer, basically.
Sure.
And also, if he doesn't move, I charge him, but obviously he will. I move up Killison's brother, cousin, whatever.
He's just chasing, isn't he?
Chasing, but also to be 18 inches.
The Glade Guard as well.
Yeah. So up to be 18 inches of my knights, because they took a bit of a pounding from all those shots, like I said, from the archers and all the Heath hunters and stuff. So just to get a raise if I can. I continue raising over here, and at this point it doesn't really matter. But I also kill the totemic summon, and everything here is as good as safe.
Yeah,
which I was happy with. I was happy enough with anyway. This is onto his turn. I think at this point I don't want to overrun time-wise. So
there's penalties, isn't there, for overrunning at the last game? Is that right?
Well, I think it's penalties anyway, but whether they're enforced, I'm not sure. He basically, so that I can't get any of his scoring units, which is a good thing, he puts his mage in front of my vampire lord.
A few extra points you didn't think you'd get.
Yeah, so I think it's about 450 as well, so it's a decent chunk. So I'm happy enough. And if I charge him, I'll get within 18 inches of those guys on at the top as well. So I'm happy enough with that. He chaffs. I want to say they are not the scoring unit.
Sure. I mean, he has one that is scoring, basically.
So I think they're the ones that aren't scoring, and I'm gonna say that is the case. Otherwise, moves up like so. Shoots and shoots and shoots. I'm down to 2 wounds left on my lord. It's not actually the standard. It's a champion, but that it's by the by. I decide not to charge with my vampire. My vampire lord goes into the mage. That's fine, but my vampire doesn't go into the chaff effectively because I need to get him within 18 inches of Killison, which I mean I know that I'm well within, but that was the most that Killison could march up to. So he couldn't quite have got within 18. So I wouldn't have had 2 raises chances on him, and I only need 1 wound back to lose no points.
Okay, sure.
I think that's 3 out of 10. Yeah.
Okay.
So at the minute I'm half points. 1 wound back. I get no half points.
Okay.
So
makes
yeah,
sense,
so
yeah.
I move him up, and it's just this is turn 6, the last turn. I move it so that that's what it does. Thankfully, I get the wound back,
Great.
and I kill the mage, and
Great.
that is
So a nice little turnaround of points at the end.
a few. So probably about 300 I get back from the not giving
Nice.
half points off, and about 450, whatever it is, for
that's
the mage. So
a VP or two. Yeah.
decent amount, but oh my god, what a tough game!
Wow.
In all senses of the word, really, it was really challenging. In a good way, actually, in terms of like movement. But I just got duped. I just completely got duped by the list and not knowing it. And
I'd be really interested in hearing if anyone else has got any stories of that happening.
Of that list,
on that list, because I mean, obviously, Artem's discovered it or
it's
whatever.
A good list design, really, because it does catch people out. I think that's the point, right? If you get caught out, it's very hard to win the game.
Yeah, I mean, reading the rules as you were explaining it, I mean, it sounds okay. The only thing I'm interested in is both Sacred Seeds growing the forest and the Mistwalker's Mirror to move the unit. Both of them say at the end of the movement phase.
Yes. So, but that's fine.
But I mean, so
it's what order you do it
at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so I mean, he moved the.
Like, can you grow the forest then do the Mistwalker's Mirror, or do you have to do?
There's no reason. You choose what order things happen in.
Well, that's what I mean.
That
sounds like it's
they
okay,
both have. It's like initiative, right, or whatever, agility.
Yeah.
You choose if they're both the same. You choose who goes.
If it's your turn, you choose. Yeah, exactly. Which makes it sound it's probably fine, and it likely is.
But absolutely, I didn't. No. If you'd asked me at the start of this game, will he teleport something 30 inches? I would have said no.
Yeah,
that was wrong. But yeah, so I kind of clawed back, and I was confident I wasn't going to get 20'd at the end anyway.
But he won the objective 1-0.
But he won the objective 1-0 because I couldn't get those dryads, and I was annoyed that happened, really, because that was my own choice, really, in the end. Yeah. So I went for a safer option than a risky but would have got me more points option. And it ended up a 14-6.
Okay, not a disaster by any means.
Not in this way, by the way. I've got it the wrong way round. Although, who knows, eh? It's on the internet, so it's right. Unfortunately, not for me. It was for the Sylvan Elves.
I didn't actually notice that until you said it.
I've only noticed that now. I've done it wrong on that thing. But yeah, it was 14-6 to the Sylvan Elves.
Really close in points.
Yeah, really close. Really close. I mean, it was 200, so it was just enough to get the 11-9. And then obviously got the objective. So I didn't do too bad in terms of everything. It was just, I don't think once that happened at the start and the way I played my Shrieking Horror, which was good intentions but executed badly, I think.
Yeah.
Because it did what I wanted. It got his guys off the hill.
Sure.
If I'd have chaffed the War Dancers instead, I would have freed up Killy Killison for turn 2, and possibly Donny Dark Coach could have done something as well. So I think the Shrieking Horror goes down in that play, but I perhaps don't lose my ghouls. So I don't know. I
would really love to hear opinions on should the ghouls have charged first off.
Yes,
I think whether it's right or wrong, I know I would have done it.
Yeah,
I don't know. I wouldn't have worried about working it out or anything. Yeah, I would have just charged them.
I think I know,
and I would have put the zombies in the plan.
Yeah, well, it was both really, both or nothing, and I chose nothing.
Sure. I'd be interested if people would say, well, just choose +1 attack on the Blade Dancers and slice them up, and don't actually worry about 3 up Aegis. Like that would have been troublesome.
Well, I wanted to chaff him, and I didn't, and then because I failed my March check, I think that threw me. With the Shrieking Horror sort of thing. Because really, the Shrieking Horror, if he goes after the Kestrels, that might be a better play as well. But if I kill 6 out of 13 war dancers, that's another thing as well. So
That's it, yeah.
that didn't quite happen. I don't know. Yeah, there's probably loads of things I did wrong in this, but I had to just.
I don't necessarily think it's things you did wrong. Maybe things you could have done differently that might have had different effects. But I wouldn't be so far as to say you did them wrong. Just you were up against
as I said at the start, simply moving my bat swarms over to the safe side. And swapping with the great.
And you didn't use your direwolves at all.
I didn't. Well, like I said, I purposely had them over to bait, which he didn't take the bait, which is fair enough.
No.
And again, in my thought process was, I'm not going to chaff much of anything used because they can fly. So, what
could they have helped with the dryads or not really?
Possibly, but
he's box them in a bit.
Yeah, but... I mean, if it's the totemic summon, really, I think that.
It is. Totally is. Yeah. He must have got 3 or 4 totemic summons off in that game.
He did. But yeah, I mean, I don't think I tried to dispel them all though either. I'm not sure. So he played it well. He knows his list. Obviously, he plays it well. I tried to out-jank him as well, which at times I did. I thought I was pleased enough with how I protected my units, but what it meant was I was never on the offensive. I was never really in a position to win the game after that first thing. Perhaps you're right. Perhaps if I do go after the war dancers, the issue with the war dancers is they're not scoring. Obviously, which is good because scoring war dancers would be terrible for the game. But in that regard, I'm putting all my scoring into it without, it's risk. The only risk is my part. But I think that's what I thought. Yeah. I think that's what was holding me back with anything was that I don't want to commit a scoring unit and go 1 for 1 because I lose the objective in that regard. I lost it anyway, although again it was only just, so to speak, because of things that happened. But no, I say it was a really challenging game, a really interesting game, and I really enjoyed it in a really weird. What do you call it? Self-masochistic way. Because it was really hard. It was really hard to play against, and it was really, it just like, I can't remember being caught out so much before I moved, like in any game ever. So fair play to Artem for that, really. But yeah, so 6 points took me to 47. I want to say, which.
Well, you said you're on 37 at the start of the battle.
43. 43.
But I mean,
that makes sense because I needed a 13 to get to 50. So 43, which was obviously below where I wanted to be with the 50 points, and obviously got 3 losses versus 2 wins. So I wasn't too disappointed. I felt like I wanted to play the Shrieking Horror, and I did. I just didn't play it well in most of my games, and there's practice in that, whatever. So I feel like I really liked the addition of the Shrieking Horror because it gives you something completely different to what you normally get, and what I normally get, which is high AP attacks and a threat zone. However, I didn't use it to its best ability in. I can't remember a game where I used it to its best ability. No. The only time it survived was when it didn't have any impact on the game at all. So I was in. I don't necessarily think I'd drop it, but I need to learn to play it better.
If I were to give you a brutally honest opinion and steel yourself for it, I don't think any of these games you played the way you play your vampires against me. And I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing, but I really struggle against your vampires. And maybe it's the armies I'm playing, i.e. Orcs, Saurians, Ogres, whatever. And you didn't play any of them opponents. So maybe that's the difference. But you play different tactics entirely in all of these 5 battles than you have against any of the battles you played against me. And that was really interesting to see. And you explained it all very well, and it all made sense for the moment. But I didn't think you played to any of your strengths in these games.
Sure.
So I definitely that's me being brutally honest.
I definitely noticed playing more defensive, and especially doing the bat reps. Like I remember thinking, right, I wanted to conserve points.
Like what happened to the charge the ghouls in? I'll raise them back if they die.
Yeah.
There was none of that. There was always that, I want to keep my ghouls alive, or they're a scoring unit I need to keep on the board,
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Well,
Like, no, man, ghouls are there to chuck in and kill.
normally I'd agree, but it was the scoring thing that threw me. Like I said, but yeah. So, but I definitely played it more defensive. I think at the start.
I think so.
And
Yeah, massively.
I don't think it really paid off. But yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
But it was really all really interesting battles. So good stuff seeing it. And I think you're quite hard on yourself anyway when you make mistakes. So
well, yeah, I think with the Shrieking Horror was Donnie Dark Coach played himself really. The Lords to a certain extent. I think there's a few placements.
I don't think either of them got their points back in any battle though.
No. No, you're probably right. They cause enough threat for me. I don't think many times they will though. Just because people they can't fly, I guess is the main thing. But I like what they do enough to and having two of them. This just means I can put so much threat across the board, really. And I say one of them would have if it had got that 11 charge.
Well,
so
sure, yeah.
Yeah, on another day, I think they can. The core setup, I'm pretty happy with. The Shrieking Horror, I just need to play better.
Or get another one.
Well, getting two, yeah. I'd have to lose the knights for that, I think.
No, we don't do that.
Right.
2 units of knights, 2 Shrieking Horrors. Job done.
Yeah.
Drop your lords.
I mean, that's, I guess, at the end of the tournament, 43, I finished at 24th out of 30 odd or something. So if you do have any suggestions for changing up the list, then now's the time.
Now? Right now?
Now's the time. Put it in the comments.
Oh, do I have to? Okay.
You do.
All right, fair enough. Great. Well, cheers for that, Lucky Sixes.
Yeah. I say, let us know what you would have done different in this battle, and go back and tell me about all the others. I'm very, very eager to. I love the vampires. I don't think they're my strongest army in terms of me playing them, but I do love them and I do love playing them.
Sure. Well, that's good.
But so yeah, perhaps a bit more range damage I need. I mean, it's hard with vampires.
Yeah, well, yeah, it is.
But maybe in the magic setup or something like that. But yeah, let us know what you would do differently and how you change the list.
Yeah, great. Good stuff. All right. Well, cheers for that. And don't forget, folks, comment, like, share, subscribe, do all your usual wonderfulness. And we're going to begin preparing for our next tournament that we're both at. So, we've got a few battles before then.
Back to Cardiff. We love it so much.
Yeah, too right.
But before we do, we might have a little interlude with an old friend.
Indeed we will. Great. Look forward to that as well. So we'll see you for the next set of battle reports, folks.
See you later.